we still have this higher latitude blocking, which is forcing the cold weather across Canada into the northern U.S. And that's actually that combined with the strong ridging across the southeastern U.S. That's a setup here for the continuation of widespread heavy rain. So we do see the cooler weather continuing, especially this week, with then some easing of those temperatures next week.
Hey, thanks so much.
You're welcome, Todd.
Mark Russo is with Risk Pulse. I'm Extension's Todd Gleason.
When it comes to our members, Chris Magnuson connects rural routes for you. Chris leads Illinois Farm Bureau's efforts to provide valuable information to our members. He has spent 2 decades with IFB. Here's a bit about his rural roots.
I grew up on a farm with corn, soybeans, and Christmas trees. I've been in ag communication for 3 decades now. My greatest satisfaction has always remained the same, to serve our members.
Be it routes or roots, RFD Radio, FarmWeekNow.com, and Farm Week keep you connected.
As you prepare for planting season, remember your neighbors. Whether you're an applicator, grower, or beekeeper, use FieldWatch to register your farm and monitor for sensitive sites around you. FieldWatch is a free, easy-to-use online mapping tool. Consulting FieldWatch is now a requirement for the over-the-top use dicamba products. Communicating with your neighbors will help you protect your farm and the environment. Don't wait. Go online to fieldwatch.com. Growing agriculture, we grow best together.
You're listening to RFD Town & Country Partners, connecting you with the food you eat, the Illinois farmers who grow it, and the food-related events, destinations, and lifestyles that make our state great.
Hey, good day to you. Welcome to Town & Country Partners here on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Rita Frazier, a monthly visit with Barbara Stroud-Borth, Mount Pulaski Courthouse. She is the site coordinator. Hey, Barbara.
Hello. It's good to hear from you.
Hey, it's good to hear from you, too, because I know it's been a busy spring for you guys there on Vinegar Hill. Tell us what's been going on at the courthouse.
Well, in April, we had a whole assembly of things about Lincoln's death, because we had borrowed a model of a hearse from Gene Letterly of Latham, Illinois. He had made a model a couple of years ago, and so we had that on display and then got out some of the other displays that we had made 4 years ago as the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's death. But then the student council came. On the last Sunday, we had a few members of student council who came and planted flowers in our big pots and then primed the steps. So they were all clean looking for the prom. The Grand March was the 6th of May. So, the students all dress up in their beautiful clothes. They come in the back door, and 2 by 2, they're introduced at the front door, and then all the parents and grandparents and families are out there in the yard, and it turned out to be a beautiful day, even though we had rain pretty much all week. So it was a great time. It's been a tradition here at the courthouse since 1991 to have the Grand March at the courthouse.
What's your favorite part of that event, Barbara? Is it seeing the style of dress that the kids are wearing, or just to have the kids there?
It's just to have the kids there, and they all, they're all excited about where they're going to be going for dinner, and then later they come back to the Legion Hall in here in Mount Pulaski for their dance and party, So it's an exciting time, and some of the. There were some girls that were paired up with each other. If they didn't have a date, they still come. That's very different from when I was young. You had to get a date to come, but these girls come anyway, and they're all dressed up, and everybody has a good time.
Yeah, I like to see that as well. That way no one's excluded, and they all get to have a great time. It goes back to something we've talked with you about many, many times, Barbara, on this show, is that, the Mount Pulaski Courthouse is historic, for sure, and you have so many other events there, but it does seem like you draw the community in. It is such a part of that community.
Right, and the foundation has really worked on enhancing that. I mean, the Grand March has been going on before, but we've tried to do many other things to bring people in, too, so we keep working on that.
How does the rest of the spring into the summer, what is on your agenda?
Well, in June, the first community band concert is going to be held on the 12th. That's Mr. Harry Hild, and the community band people come from 7 or 8 different communities, and they play in the gazebo on the courthouse lawn. Everybody brings their own lawn chair, and the women in business provide ice cream and cake for a free will offering. And we have the courthouse open from 6 to 7 for people that want to come and have a tour. So it's we have had really good weather last year. The year before we got rained out about halfway through the concert a couple of times, but it's a beautiful setting, and the community band will play twice in July and then again at Fall Festival. So we're looking forward to that. Then we're looking forward to Fall Festival, which is coming on the 13th and 14th of September. So we have several activities planned, and what the foundation is going to do is set up a tent out on the street, and you can go there and get your raffle ticket, but then you have to come into the courthouse and be involved in what's going there, and then you can go put your raffle ticket in the bucket, and that day the drawing will be held, and someone will win two things. It's all part of one prize, but it's two things: a 40-inch smart TV Roku, and also an Echo Dot 3rd generation. So both of those things together will be the prize, and it doesn't cost anything to get a ticket. It just costs you having to come to the courthouse and being involved in what's going on inside.
How about that? Yeah, that sounds like a very, very busy few weeks. Let's go back to the foundation, because we know that you had some work done on the outside and the inside, and how is the construction going?
Well, we're kind of on hold right now for the inside. We were thinking that we were going to get the inside walls, except for the east wall, painted, but some reason there's a delay in Springfield. So that probably isn't going to happen. But in June, the outside woodwork that didn't get painted last summer is supposed to be painted. We have the foundation's going to pay for it. We have a local contractor who's agreed to do it. And there's a few window sills that need to be replaced that are rotten wood. We replaced a bunch of them, it's 3 years ago now. But we couldn't get to all of them because we had the wrong kind of a lift. You need a bucket lift, and we couldn't get to them because we had a scissors lift. So we'll have to get those replaced, and then all the rest of the woodwork, except for the east side, which got done last year, will get painted. So that's good. That needs to be done. I mean, some of it hasn't been painted since 2011, so
wow.
Some of it's getting pretty bad, especially on the west side, the front side.
So those kind of projects remind us that you and the foundation, you kind of continuously work to build funds, because it seems like, this job never ends to preserve such a wonderful site.
Right. And so the things that are planned to raise money this year would be a Christmas tree and Christmas wreath auction, and we're going to have it on the very same day as Christmas on Vinegar Hill. Because people come on Vinegar Hill and see all this stuff, and then they want to come back for the auction, but they think it's going to be the same day. And so this year we're going to try that. In the afternoon, have the auction the same day as Christmas on Vinegar Hill for those trees and wreaths that will be decorated by people in the community. And then we're also having a gala in the spring of 2020. So we've done that every other year, had a dance and, a lovely dinner put on by Hilltop Catering and at the Legion Hall here, with usually a silent auction and lots of other things going on. And that's always a fundraiser. So we're going to keep on with that tradition of doing it every other year.
And what's the date on that, Barbara?
I think it's the 18th of April.
Okay.
I didn't look it up. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. That's a long way.
Yeah. Sure it's
okay.
In April,
it's in April. Okay. So before we get too far, we got 3 minutes left, and I want to make sure that we have plenty of time for you to share with us sort of a little known fact about Lincoln.
All right. Well, his first job was in Springfield with John Todd Stewart. And he later said about that experience, and I was just in Springfield yesterday, and there's a plaque on the edge of the sidewalk that tells about that being the place where the law office was at that time. It's not there anymore, but Lincoln said about that experience later that he did most of the work for 1/3 of the pay. So he felt like Stewart was maybe taking a little advantage of him.
Gotcha.
But he did give him a break by giving him a job, so that was good.
Well, these types of facts and lots more you're able to share with those who come and visit the courthouse. We talk about this from time to time, that for those now that school is getting out for school, public schools, and you always are there for those who might be homeschooled, what a great example, great destination for folks to come and visit.
Right. So we're open from Tuesday through Saturday from noon to 4 or by appointment. Sometimes we open at other times for groups or whatever if you call ahead. And then the number at the courthouse is 217-792-3919.
So again, if about a minute left here, Barbara. So if they want to come and visit, certainly other things they can do. You have a nice little business community there on the square.
We do, and the economic development group in this town is working hard to build more. I mean, hopefully by next year sometime we're going to be having a co-op grocery store on the square. We have a lovely flower shop. We have the Mount Pulaski Historical Museum, which is open from April through November, and has many interesting things. Also, it's a place where you can do genealogy or find grave sites from the cemeteries that are here. There's also Salt Creek Attic, which is a beautiful antique shop. They just had a big celebration celebrating their 15th year in business. So I think that's a wonderful thing that they have, managed to serve this community and the surrounding area for that long. There's a Brickyard place, which is a bar and restaurant, and there's also a craft beer bar, which you can come and bring your own food if you want, and also play slots there. That's on the square as well.
Lots to do in Mount Pulaski. Barbara, our time is come and gone. Thank you so much. She is at the Mount Pulaski Courthouse in Mount Pulaski. We'll be back with more. We'll talk about some fishing, hunting activities and some tips from Jim Crowley. And Christina Wilkinson is along her segment today, Cooking with Honey. This is Town and Country Partners.
Farm Week and FarmWeekNow.com journalist Kay Shipman connects rural routes for you. For 3 decades, Kay has delivered important news. She covers everything from legislative issues to the latest in soil and water conservation. Here's a bit about her rural roots.
I love covering so many aspects of agriculture and providing readers with the facts they need to make better decisions. I also get to work with farmers and meet new people along the way.
Be it routes or roots, RFD Radio, FarmWeekNow.com and Farm Week keep you connected.
All Ag.
All Illinois.
All Now.
There are a lot of smartphone apps out there, but do they have what's important to us here in Illinois? The Farm Week Now app does, and it's always at your fingertips. All Ag, all Illinois, and 24/7 where and when you need it for free. Go to your app or Play Store on your smartphone, hit search, type in Farm Week Now, that's one word, and download it today. Brought to you by Illinois Farm Bureau, where we're all about farm, family, and food.
Welcome to Jim Crowley Outdoors here on the RFD Radio Network. These hobbies of mine put a lot of miles on my truck. Illinois Farm Bureau members can save $500 on the purchase of a new Ford vehicle. For more details, go to ilfb.org or contact your local county farm bureau. Without question, probably the most exciting type of fishing that I've done for any fresh or saltwater fish, and I think a lot of people are going to agree with that, is topwater fishing. And if you think about it, why do we love topwater fishing so much? And well, there's a lot of reasons for it. One, everything is visual. All right, a lot of times you get to see the fish blow up on your topwater bait, especially if it's largemouth or smallmouth. Man, smallmouth can literally, I've had them knock a topwater 3 foot out of the water. Same with hybrid stripers. Knock it 10 feet away and then chase the bait down and hit it again. Seen the same thing happen topwater fishing for tuna. And jacks and everything, and just watch the explosions and the adrenaline. You can just feel it. The other thing is sometimes, even when you most expect it, you don't expect it. And that fish blows up on that topwater. And for those who've been listening to the show for a while now, you know that I've really taken a liking to making my own fishing rods. And I recently just built a topwater rod for myself, it's going to be a bait casting rod, 6'8", medium heavy with a fast tip. It was so cool to be able to build that and actually try some of those lures out. And even though this one wasn't a topwater rod, I got to thinking as we were doing this episode is how cool it's going to be not only to build a rod, which I absolutely just love. It's fun, it's relaxing, and it's really cool to catch fish on something you made. But now I'm actually going to make a rod exactly the length and action that I wanted for topwater, and to be able to work that topwater exactly the way I wanted it with a rod that I built myself, and to watch that fish blow up, set the hook on that fish, and catch that fish on something that I built. And when I talk about building rods and about topwaters, it all comes together. You can go to a place called Lure Parts Online or go to Angler's Workshop. You can make your own topwaters there. You can definitely make your own rods. There's tons of videos out there to do everything like that. And I guess as I gotten older, I like making stuff. I paint my own decoys, if you heard me say before. And now to be able to make my own rods and catch fish on some of my favorite topwater lures is just something really cool. Even when I remember as a kid and watching my dad throw an old jitterbug, and some of you older fishermen are going to remember that, and watching that bass or that northern pike blow up on that jitterbug was always cool because it was always the anticipation of that strike. So I guess it still holds true. There's just something that all of us will always love about topwater.
Jim Crowley with the Outdoors program here on the RFD Radio Network. More to come. Stay with us.
Farm Week and FarmWeekNow.com journalist Daniel Grant connects rural routes for you. With more than 2 decades of reporting under his belt, Dan is the go-to source for farmers when it comes to commodities. Here's a bit about his rural roots.
I grew up on a grain and livestock farm near Roseville in Warren County. What I love about my job is working with people, traveling across Illinois, and visiting farms along the way.
Be it routes or roots, RFD Radio, FarmWeekNow.com, and Farm Week keep you connected.
Warmer weather means a longer honey-do list. Your county farm bureau can help you stay on top of your project list and save you money along the way. A Farm Bureau membership offer includes discounts on equipment and supplies from Grainger, plus free shipping on all standard Grainger products. Browse thousands of items from landscaping equipment to power tools. Anything you need to get the job done, Grainger has it. Not a Farm Bureau member? Call us at 309-557-2689. Or visit Illinois Farm Bureau online and join today.
Welcome back to Town and Country Partners Radio. I'm Christina Wilkinson. Honey was not something that we used a lot of growing up. My mother gave us hot tea and honey when we had a cold or a sore throat to help soothe our pain, but that was about it. Today we have a lot more people using honey for a variety of reasons, but especially in cooking. Anna O'Connell has been cooking more with honey since her husband started keeping bees in their backyard. She says she doesn't do anything real fancy with it, but she does like to cook with it.
I like to use honey fairly unadulterated. My kids just very simply put honey on sandwiches or just bread and butter, on homemade waffles, that kind of thing. I do add honey in bread a lot because it really helps preserve my homemade bread.
Do you do anything different besides just like measure out what amount you think is best, or do you measure, or you just add and like a pinch of this instead you just do a tablespoon?
Yeah, I tend to just add a pinch of this or a pinch of that and just drizzle it in until it seems right.
Now, when you look at honey in the store, sometimes you see the different colors. Is there any recommendation on what the colors mean, or what does it mean when you see the different colors of honey?
It's just where the bees get their honey from, really. I think it's a matter of personal taste, whatever honey you enjoy. I would always recommend buying honey as local as you can find it. Find a beekeeper that you feel comfortable with that produces local honey.
And with the local honey, I know that you were talking a lot about organic. And can you comment, like if someone does say that they're organic honey, I mean, what you were said to be a little bit questioning about that.
Well, it just doesn't have the same standards for honey as it does for other things. Usually when you're talking agricultural products, organic means you can only, let's say animal products, you can only feed organic feed. You can only have organic sources for the animal's feed, for example. With honey, with the bees, you really can't control where they're getting their nectar and their pollen from. You need about a 3-mile radius that they forage in, and there's really not large organic farms like that around.
There's pasteurized honey. There's also unpasteurized. What is the difference, and would you recommend one or the other?
Well, the pasteurized honey has just been heated. I don't think it's necessary. Honey has natural antimicrobial, antifungal, antibacterial, antiviral properties. So honey really stays good forever. The pasteurization process usually is just to prevent spoilage from any kind of pathogens, and honey really doesn't have that. So I don't think there's any need to pasteurize the honey, and I think it can just deteriorate the quality a little bit because you lose some of those more heat-sensitive components that the honey has.
Now, you were commenting about the different notes or nodes that the honey has that has not been treated, that it has a lot of floral scent because that's what the bees pollinated.
Yes. We notice just year to year from our own apiaries, and we have honey from our own backyard right in downtown Springfield. We also have an apiary out in near Athens, and now we also have bees out in Southern View. And between the different locations, but even year to year, the honey will vary in aroma and taste.
How long of a shelf life does honey have?
Honey will last forever.
What about, is it sometimes I know that it's good, but it does change, like the crystallization. What does that mean when it actually crystallizes?
Honey will crystallize. We found our honey crystallize fairly quickly. I don't know if that has to do that we don't heat it at all. And it just changes texture. If you don't like it crystallized, you can just gently reheat it in a warm water bath, or my husband has successfully put it in the oven overnight and just put on the oven light, not even turn the oven on. But other than that, it really doesn't deteriorate the product at all. It just looks a little bit differently, and instead of having the honey drizzle, it'll be more of a chunk. But other than that, it really doesn't go bad. Honey doesn't go bad.
Now, you've mentioned that you do have your own honeybees in your backyard and throughout the area. Why did you get involved in this, and what do you see as the benefit to producing your own honey?
As he had read that honey is beneficial to help with allergies and help prevent allergies, so we're trying to get my kids to eat honey every day to hopefully help with the seasonal allergies. I don't know if it's true or not, but it was worth a shot.
Do you think then that your kids have a lot of allergies, or do you think they're pretty even keel?
My kids have a lot of seasonal allergies. They get that from me. We all get from early spring through the summer intermittently. They're on allergy meds, but we're hoping that the honey helps a little bit with that and just boosts their immune system in the right direction.
Anything else you'd like to add about people that are maybe thinking about using more honey in their cooking process?
Well, I love using honey. I don't use it so much in like my regular cakes and things like that, or cookies, because I bake it and I don't think the honey flavor comes out. I like to use it when I make something where I can taste the honey. So I'll make, instead of cinnamon rolls, I make honey buns. Same recipe, and you just, instead of cinnamon, you just put cinnamon sugar, you just put honey in there with the butter. I like to use honey in salad dressings and things like that because it just adds a whole other dimension to it.
Thank you very much, Anna O'Connell. Now, Anna does also use honey, like my mom. She has a hot lemon and honey drink that she gives her kids in the winter to help warm them up and also boost their immune system. It's really simple. All she does is take a little bit of lemon juice, and that can be concentrated lemon juice, with a little bit of honey and a cup of hot water, and there you go. She also has a German remedy. It's hot milk and honey, where you warm the milk with the honey to taste. And she says it's an old folk remedy in Germany for sore throats. So there you go, all the benefits of cooking with honey. If you are interested, you can contact your local county farm bureau, and they can maybe hook you up with a local beekeeper to help you get that local product. For Town and Country Partners Radio, I'm Christina Wilkinson.